Hello, I'm at the Cavendish Pavilions, Bolton Abbey in the Yorkshire Dales, and a potentially incredible area for cycling of all sorts. But it's been a real hotbed of controversy in recent years because there's some, let's just say, some slightly unfair proceedings going on around here. But I am going to actually start with a positive note, because this section here used to be fully closed to cyclists. They actually had bouncers on here a couple of years ago. They filmed on the local news programme, Look North. So it's good to see that the wooden posts that stop cyclists getting through at all have gone. Although that stone step there isn't exactly e-bike or, you know, or less able access, is it? You know, that's not really a help. And, you know, as you can see, they're asking you to, I mean, fair enough, dismount, push your cycle bikes across. But, you know, as Ryan, who I'm riding with today, put it, there's a definite feeling it's not so much sharing the joys of access, but sharing the till over at the Cavendish Pavilions there. So, like I say, I'm going to ride around, we're going to look at some of the areas, just some of the potential of this incredible area that could be opened up to responsible off-road use. And it's something that Cycling UK, who are you know, supporting this video today, are really trying to campaign hard to at a governmental level, because as you'll see, there's some big old tax implications as to why we should be allowed to access this land, because frankly we're paying for it. I mean, there are some stunning sections of proper legal bridleway like this. Cheers, Ryan. Okay. A lovely bit of Dale single track with, you know, Bolton Abbey there in the background. Proper treat riding this, and totally legal. So obviously with a path like this, you know, you want to go steady. We're on a Tuesday today, so unlikely to be busy, but it's not a race car. That's the whole point. You know, we want to open up areas to responsible access and riders. And then dropping down right to the Abbey itself. And again, this is, you know, this is all bridleway. So this is fully legit rideable, bizarrely, until you get to the far side of the bridge. No, you come past. This is really bizarre. It's a bridle path to the end of that bridge, and then you have to come back up again. It's just curious, isn't it? We're just having a bit of an explore. And then it's actually legal all the way across to this gate at the end. But then just beyond there, you've got the Devonshire Arms and a really broad track, and Bolton Abbey itself. And now we're pedalling back up to the top of Storriths, because that's the only legal way out. It's just such a miss in terms of access. You know, you've got the access there to the point you want to be, but there's just no continuation of the loop. And to be fair, that's not that unusual. There's loads of places, particularly parish boundaries, where bridleways or road use of public paths become footpaths. But that is possibly the most beautiful and upsetting of all the ones I've come across when putting routes together. And this is the kind of place that could really turn people onto riding. Such a beautiful area and such great resources already in place. Now, even this path, totally all weather. You know, it's a medieval trod. It's been here probably over 1,000 years. Well, at least since the Abbey, so what's that? 800, 700? So it's unlikely to wear out a few extra bike tyres on it. And it's quite interesting here on this sign, you know, Yorkshire Dales National Park Authority, Barden Moor and Barden Fell access areas. Here at Bolton Abbey, public access has been encouraged since the early 19th century. And, you know, Fell access agreement was created in 1968 on the National Parks and Access Countryside Act. And there is, you know, the Countryside and Rights of Way Act, the Crow Act, actually gives right to roam across a lot of this area. But then we pull back, and not only is your dog not welcome, and is cycling definitely not welcome, but there's a dirty great private no access sign on both sides of the gatepost. So yeah, definitely some mixed messaging going on there. And I'm not talking about access to somewhere like, you know, the Footpath down by the Strid. They're insanely popular with walkers, you know. You get 440,000 people to the estate every year, but more than like that, it's just a huge area of potential riding. And then up there as well, on the far side, that's where we're going next. There's just so much, you know, and it's just an potentially amazing resource that's currently completely choked off, despite the fact that the Duke of Devonshire is actually getting, or his estate at least, is actually getting a major tax break for theoretically allowing more access. I mean, could it look any more like prime mountain biking than that? And that doesn't look like the kind of surface a mountain bike on low pressure 2.4 inch tyres is really going to damage. But again, public footpath, no unauthorised vehicle access. And Skyhome is a beautiful place. There's some beautiful, I mean, you can get into the riding from the back of it, from the back of Appletree Wick. If you watch that Canyon Lux video, that's all shot over there. But again, it's just a single string of access. And then you've got the famous New Inn mountain bike livery, classic mecca for mountain bikers. Back in the day with John Pitch guiding and riding out of there. And it's not just income a cyclist who benefit, you know, it's local parts of the economy, like the Craven Arms here. You know, every little visitor, every bit helps. It's just a beautiful area for riding. I mean, if you like your dry stone walls, rolling hills, and just such a great historic landscape, but also there'll be some technical challenges as well. I mean, this is a bridle way. It's also a good suspension tester. Now to the river again. Thank you very much indeed, thank you. All right. But again, just where there is access is very odd, because now we're back up here. Whereas that, over there, I think it's Bridal Path to that side, but then on the far side it's Footpath, so you could do so much with a little bit of modification here. I mean, don't get me wrong, these little daffodil lined roads out the back of Thorpe are lovely, but I'm itching to get out and explore up there. Miles and miles of moorland. I think it's something like 80 miles of potential riding within the estate. Yeah, and I get that it's a working landscape, you know, shooting is massively important up here, and so is livestock rearing. Like this little fella lying down there. But, you know, we're talking about responsible use of the landscape. And I mean, look at these tracks. I mean, this is, you know, this is legit bridle way, but there's tracks that look like this heading all the way up onto Barden Moor, all the way around the top of Barden Moor as well. That's what I'm talking about getting opened up. And the irony is that this is the official bridle way across the moor, and it's not on like hardcore Land Rover tracks, so it's arguably the least sustainable way across. And while it's not been the best day to show you the incredible views from up here on Barden Moor, I think you can see the potential for riding up here is just massive. Like I say, 80 miles of potential trails over 33,000 acres of land. And also, Duke of Devonshire is responsible for Chatsworth House as well, so prime area down in the Peak District. But the really galling thing is, because of a clause called conditional exemption, the Duke gets massive tax relief in terms of capital gains and inheritance tax on his 880 million net worth because he's, well, because the estate have said they'll give increased access, and that includes more permissive bridleways, because actually all of this land is crow access anyway, so you can walk across it regardless. So ramblers can cover most of the area apart from specific sort of grouse shooting areas and, you know, landscape management sections, but there's basically no provision for extra bridleways here, despite the fact there's such a potentially huge network of totally weatherproof trails like this. And Cycling UK have tried to get to the bottom of it and tried to see the Heritage Landscape Management Plan, which was drawn up with the Yorkshire Dales National Park, but they very apologetically replied because it's actually a taxation document. The HMRC say Duke of Devonshire doesn't have to actually disclose what his plans are for opening up access to any of these areas. So, just more signs like this and that on what, on a clear day, will be a huge expanse of beautiful riding down around a reservoir, potentially all the way around the perimeter of this moor, looping round back into Bolton Abbey. But currently just this one route that Ryan's sat on there. I mean, look at that. All currently out of bounds, but you can see, you know, metal roads like this, double track around these reservoirs and moors. And while, you know, there is an argument for not disturbing birds, like I say, you've already got ramblers on here, and we're passing through the landscape more quickly, potentially with less erosion. We ride responsibly. We're actually disturbing the wildlife less than a bunch of gaudy ramblers. And it's not just missing us, it's not just us missing out either. It's the horses. There's obviously Bridal Path access, covers what they're doing as well. Thanks very much, cheers. I mean, now the clouds lifting back, just look at that. Look at that as a potential landscape. I mean, that's the valley we rode up along on the far side there, but you've just got all this moorland right over to Skipton over there, and it's within reach of so many people. And you know, look at it, it's the perfect surface for riding without causing any damage. It's just begging to be opened up. And like I say, we're basically paying for it with the tax relief the Duke gets. And again, you know, this is the official bridle path. This chaotic kind of tussocky mogul field that's miserable in winter, and compared to pretty much every other potential way up here, far less rideable and far less sustainable. It just seems like madness, or kind of willful badness. It's so easy to put far better management plan here that could actually make the riding far better, cause less impact on the environment, and just make everybody happier, because we'd all be coming back to the calf path
the pubs and Airbnbs that fill up with riders. Just such an untapped, well, mismanaged resource here. I mean, look at it. How is this the official bridle way when you've seen the other options? And this is in good nick at the moment. So how do we go about changing situations like this? Well, for a start, if you're not already a member of Cycling UK, then strongly consider joining them. Really important advocacy work, and everywhere I've done routes for them, we've come into similar issues, whether that's Cornwall, Norfolk, even the King Alfred's Way. And in some places, got fantastic solutions. Others, still working on it, but you know, the resolutions are there, they can be made. You know, cyclists are a potentially really, really good cash crop. You know, we tend to spend really, really well. You know, look at King Alfred's Way, we've revolutionised the economy rurally along that route, and the same's happening in Cornwall now too. But let's all try and work to open up more of this incredible countryside. I mean, look at what's available. Look what we've got and should be allowed more of. Because like I say, you know, he's being let off taxes to give us more access, and currently that's not happening. And this is just one example from one part of the country. Yes, it's local to me, but find out what's happening local to you. You know, where, like we saw, where there's a bridle path going down to a footpath, or where there's just lost access for no reason. Campaign, you know, contact the right to way officer locally. Again, see, Cycling UK can really help you with that kind of advocacy, that kind of contact the council, work with landowners. You know, it might be that you can chat to them, you know, work directly with them, come to a resolution, you know, come to an agreement with them. You know, they might be delighted to have some people coming onto their land, you know, providing a new revenue stream if they open up a cafe on a Sunday, or farmhouse teas, whatever. There's just so much potential in this landscape if, you know, we all work together to, well, basically assert our rights to access it. So, hope you've enjoyed this little random tour around the Barden estate at Bolton Abbey. Thanks very much to the Duke of Ed, Devonshire, for providing us with the access he has, I guess we have to say. But it'd be really nice, old Duke, if we could have a lot more. Because you are getting, you know, quite a kickback for it by the sound of it. But yeah, thanks to Cycling UK for sponsoring this video. Thanks to Cycling UK for sponsoring this video. I'm going to put a couple of links down below which go into more detail on the Duke of Devonshire access issue and the history behind that and what they're doing moving forwards. Massive thanks to Giro Cycling, PEs and Crud for sponsoring the channel. Thanks to my Patreon supporters, including Ryan there, who pledge to the channel on a monthly basis and help me spend more time in front of the video. But for now, I've been Guy Kestevan on the beautiful Bolton Abbey estate, riding the bits you currently can and looking wistfully at the bits you currently can't. But let's see what we can do to change that. After all, it's not long to the anniversary of the old Kinder Scout trespass. Not that, we'd advocate that kind of behaviour in any sort of way. Oh no.